If you're watching this early, you're already ahead of most people, because the biggest shifts in crypto don't usually start with hype. They start quietly when almost no one is paying attention. Right now, the conversation around XRP in the United States is changing, and it's not happening on social media first. It's happening in regulation, in legal language, and in how institutions are starting to talk again. For a long time, XRP existed under a cloud of uncertainty, not because the technology didn't work, but because the rules weren't clear. And in the US, unclear rules create hesitation, especially for serious money. That uncertainty shaped how XRP was viewed, traded, and even discussed. Many investors avoided it entirely, not out of doubt, but out of caution. What's interesting now is that the tone around regulation is no longer purely aggressive or enforcement driven. Instead, we're seeing more focus on structure, classification, and long-term frameworks. This matters because markets don't move on opinions. They move on clarity. XRP was designed to solve a very specific problem: fast, low-cost value transfer across borders. That use case doesn't disappear just because market sentiment changes. In fact, it becomes more relevant as financial systems modernize. When regulators begin shifting from stop to define, assets with clear utility tend to resurface in serious discussions, not as speculation, but as infrastructure. Another important signal comes from behavior, not headlines. Large players don't chase noise. They wait, they observe, and they position slowly when risk starts to decrease. That doesn't mean sudden price explosions. It means attention returns before action does. And historically, attention from institutions has followed regulatory clarity, not the other way around. It's also worth remembering that regulation isn't the enemy of markets. Uncertainty is. Clear rules don't promise upside, but they do allow participation, and participation is what creates liquidity, adoption, and long-term stability. This isn't about predicting prices. It's about understanding why certain assets remain relevant when others fade out of the conversation. XRP keeps coming up not because of hype cycles, but because it sits at the intersection of payments, compliance, and global finance. That position comes with both opportunity and risk. Crypto remains volatile. Policies can evolve. Markets can change direction quickly, which is why it's important to separate emotional reactions from structural signals. Instead of asking what will happen next week, it's often smarter to ask why something still matters at all. Because in financial markets, relevance usually appears long before results. If this perspective helped you see the bigger picture, a like goes a long way in supporting this kind of content. And if you want steady, fact-based discussions focused on the US crypto landscape, make sure you're subscribed. Stay patient, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.